the Multi-Channel Logistics Challenge. The growth in multi-channel means retailers are having to reassess every aspect of their supply chain, and the logistics industry needs to innovate in order to fulfill changing demands. The panel here today is to look at how the industry is responding to this, its biggest challenge in decades. And we are very lucky to have the Chief Executive of CILT, Steve Agg, to chair the session, and I hand over to him straight away.
Thank you very much indeed. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, we are in the midst of a logistics revolution, a revolution in the way our supply chains work. You may well have heard that before, and it's certainly the case today. So we've got three experts in this field. I'm chairing the session, and I'll do a brief few slides just to open things up a little bit, and then I'll hand over to my colleagues, and then we'll try and keep as much time as we can for questions at the end so that you can get your ideas and questions into our team. So off we go. You are sat in the largest per capita e-commerce market in the world. As you can see, this is a tremendously large business opportunity, and if it were an industry of itself, this would be the 5th biggest section of the economy in the UK. In the cases of France, it will be 9th, the US, it would be 8th. And why is it like that in the UK? Well, in the UK, we've got high internet penetration, heavy credit card usage, efficient delivery infrastructure, and a very competitive retail market, which I think we'd all probably agree with. Some numbers for you to look at on the size of the markets and the direction in which they're heading. These numbers are staggering in my view, and today almost 70% of retail is store only, and that's going to reduce to around 40%. You'll hear much more of this, I'm sure, with our other three colleagues on the panel here. Now, what's this doing to the high street? We all bemoan the fact that our high streets have got lots of empty shops in them. Well, it's going to get worse. As you can see, the way that with the channel shifting, with the way that we shop, with the way that we get the stuff of life, you can see the direction it's taken thus far, and it's only going to get worse, as I said. 30% fewer chain stores in towns by 2020. The issues of what we do with that vacant space or what we do with our high streets is a challenge which is going to test lots of other people other than logistics, supply chain or retail businesses. It's certainly going to test the politicians, the regulators, and all of us as people who want to use and value those high streets and the benefits that they bring to us as society, not just as retail propositions. So this market is changing very, very rapidly. And a few examples of the way, the opportunities that there are in terms of the way that consumers get this stuff of life. And there are many options, and there are increasingly complex matrix opportunities to enable us as customers to be served. And customers, I think, is a key element here, a key word. So we are all, of course, customers, consumers. We're also perhaps involved in serving customers and consumers, whether as retailers or in the e-commerce environment or as supply chain professionals. So we're all interested in this, and this is having a transformational impact on the way that supply chain works, and will continue to do so into the future. So what do we expect as customers? We get down to perhaps that actual interface level. Well, as well as all the change, the technical change that is going on and which is enabling these shifts in the way that we shop and consume, the technical change is tremendous. The behavioral change in us as consumers is also significant as we seek to take advantage of the opportunities of change and to get things in a way in which we want them. But of course, as customers, their expectations don't reduce because there may be added complexity in the way that we seek to get the product or service that we're buying. We still have the expectation that we want everything to be perfect. We want everything to happen now. We want all the choice that we've ever had, and yes, we'll have some more, please. Oh, and of course, we want it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all those things. So customer expectations are givens in many cases. But let's not forget the role of the people who work in these supply chains. And in particular, the role here of the person who's actually making that final delivery, handing the product over to us in those home deliveries, and what is involved in a perfect delivery. And the success of all of the technical change, the success of all the innovation, the success of all of the choice, very much comes down to people. And you would expect me, wouldn't you, as a chief exec of a professional institute, to say that those people working in the supply chain have been undervalued in the past, continue to be undervalued today, and their skills and capability are essential to the well-being of the success of this massive part of our economy in the UK and an increasingly growing economy of the world. So it depends very much on the people, their competence, the fact that they care. And of course, this all makes the supply chain, this is a real big benefit for me, this all makes the supply chain much more visible to every member of society, to all of the consumers, and hopefully raises the awareness of the value that supply chain brings to the economy of the UK and the economy of the world.